Pride. The month of May is over, which means it's June, which means it's Pride Month! Woo! Happy Pride to everybody, and make sure to have a safe one. With the month of May being over, it means it's time for another media I consume this month. This is gonna be the shortest edition ever because I literally watched 2 movies, read 1 book mandatorily for school, don't have any TV shows, and have like 5 or 6 songs. It's also the pink edition because I was born in May 17th, I'm 18! Woo! So now I'm of age. Yay, I guess. And pink is my favorite color, so that's why this is the pink edition. The first song I have for this month is the Hamill Drop of April, First Burn. This is basically a wonderful concoction of 5 Elizas Hamilton from various parts of the world that came together to sing the first version of Burn Lin-Manuel Miranda had ever written. The first draft that then became Burn that we know and love from Hamilton the musical. I have to say kind of that I like First Burn more than Burn. Sorry. Because like Eliza seems so much angrier in First Burn, and she should be angry. Her husband cheated on her. I understand why Lin had to tone it down, because if he hadn't, then she wouldn't have been able to forgive him in It's Quiet Uptown. But I just think First Burn is a kick-ass badass Eliza that I would love to see more of. Not to mention that the 5 girls who play Eliza in various parts of the world and came together for this song are all incredible. So, the next song I have for this month is a very fun one, and it's called The Alto's Lament. This is a very Broadway-y song, but it's not from any musical, and it's a song for all of the altos out there and for all of the sopranos and mezzos who have to sing alto because the other people in the group can't, who basically have to do the harmonies and can't sing the main melody, and it gets really, really old. And I related to this song a lot. I discovered it when my teacher in my musical theater school decided to group the mezzos with the altos to do the harmony and let the sopranos sing the main melody. I was very pissed with that. And it's also very low, and I have very little low notes in my range, so I was pissed because I was basically singing like here, hi, how are you, okay. So I love the song, and it's a fun way to rant about not singing the main melody. The only book I read this month, and I didn't read all of it, was 1984 by George Orwell. It was a mandatory read for my Portuguese class as we had to do a presentation on it, and it was a very interesting read, although very pessimistic. I don't have much to say about it. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. One thing that also came out in May was Mean Girls the Musical, the cast recording. Oh my god, and since the 18th of May, I have listened to nothing else. Also before that, in May, they had been popping out some of the songs, and I love it. Mean Girls, it's such a badass, wonderful musical that I love with all of my being. I already love the movie very, very much, but the musical is just so good. So good. So basically, the entirety of the cast recording is my favorite, but for the purposes of not making this video 5 years long, I just chose 3 songs, which are the 3 singles So the first one being Stupid with Love. The first movie I watched this month was Star Wars Phantom Menace, the first episode of Star Wars. And I've never watched Star Wars ever. I've never watched any of the other movies. And I have to say, I'm not impressed. I didn't really like it, kind of at all. I don't know if it gets better. This is the one with the Queen, Lavanna, whatever it is. It's not the one with Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker. And I just didn't really like it. I liked the creatures and I thought the special effects were fine for a movie that came out in the 90s. But I just was kind of nah. And I gave it a C. Something that also happened in May was the Eurovision Song Contest in Lisbon, where I am, woo! Because we won last year with Salvador Sobral, and this year was here, and Netta won with the song Toy, which is the exact song that I'm obsessed with. I love it so much. I know people have different opinions and it's controversial, but I love it, and it was my favorite from the moment I listened to it. So I love it, and you can fight me if you want to. The next song I have is, you guessed it, from Mean Girls, the musical, and it is Apex Predator. I just want to say that Vera Wilbur-Weed is my queen. She was already my queen in Heathers when she did Veronica, and she's right in Broadway where she belongs. And I love Janice so much. Like, Janice is just like me. Janice is very me. And the second and final movie I've watched this month was Rent. Year 2 at my musical theater school, we're doing an adaptation of Rent, which was Sunday. I'm recording this on Tuesday, and I wanted to watch the movie before going and seeing them. And Rent was beautiful. Their adaptation was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It was mesmerizingly wonderful. I was so emotionally touched, and even with the movie I never had this like emotional reaction to any form of art ever. When I finished watching it, I just felt like this pressing sadness in my chest. If you don't know what the movie is about, it's basically about a group of people, of 8 people, living in 1988 during the AIDS crisis. A devastating story. I don't even know, like, Rent is literally so beautiful. Go watch the movie, or importantly, go listen to the cast recording. It's absolutely wonderful. I love so many songs. But I literally watched this movie on the 31st of May, so all of the songs are for June's edition of Me, I Can Sing This One. The story was gorgeous, the songs were gorgeous, and I can't deal with myself. It really impacted me emotionally, and when something can do that, I can only love it. In technicalities, the movie was great, although I felt like the most pivotal moment, the most like emotional part towards the end was very rushed. I felt like the beginning was wonderful. They set up the story really greatly, but the ending was very rushed. That's why I gave it an A-, but if I was just rating the story, it would get A++++++. I love it so much. And finally, the song that defined my month of May, I'd Rather Be Me, from Mean Girls the Musical, sang by Vera Wilbur-Weed playing Janice. Vera Wilbur-Weed is a queen, like we've just established, And I love this song because this song is very me. It's literally me, what I've been preaching for years and years and years and years and years. And I think it's also very fitting for Pride Month. Because, yes, I'd rather be me. So. This was the video. Told you it would be short. It was not a great month for media. I mean, it was great for the songs and for rent, of course. But it wasn't great in terms of quantity. So this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.